welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thank you for your patience here this morning as we got set and ready to go for you inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And of course, you can always go online to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, and inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you a list of topics for the day. We will discuss the NBA. We'll also get into the WNBA and the NHL here in hour number 1. And in hour number 2, we'll continue what we always do on a Tuesday in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University. We will have the Bearcats baseball student athlete, Tim Hennig, joining me here on the show with a wonderful season happening so far for Binghamton Baseball on the winning side of things. We'll hear from Tim at 10 a.m. Eastern Time in the Bearcat Breakroom, and then we'll round things out as we always do on a Tuesday with the ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicolli's, focusing on today's topic being the best you. So let's jump into the NBA. We have figured out what the NBA playoffs is going to look like bracket-wise, so it is all set and ready to go. And I'm excited to share with you as we get set for the playoffs here, the schedule as well as how everything's going to match up here. So the bracket that we have in the Eastern Conference, the play-in games will be the play-in series, I should say, will be the number 7 Philadelphia 76ers against the number 8 Orlando Magic. The number 9 Charlotte Hornets will take on the number 10 Miami Heat. The loser of the 7-8 matchup will face the winner of the 9-10 matchup. So whoever wins the 7-8 matchup is in as the 7 seed, and then whoever the loser is of the 7-8 matchup will play the winner of the 9-10 matchup to take the 8 seed in the Eastern Conference of those games. In the Eastern Conference, the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons will play the 8 seed once that's figured out in the play-in games, I should say. The number 2 seeded Boston Celtics will play the winner they'll play the 7 seed, which is still to be determined from the play-in games. And then the 3 seed New York Knicks will take on the 6 seed Atlanta Hawks, which has given me some deja vu of watching this. I think I was down in Florida when I watched this, but the Knicks took on the Hawks in the playoffs a few years back. And the number 4 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers will take on the number 5 seeded Toronto Raptors. In the Western Conference, the play-in games will be 7 seeded Phoenix Suns against 8 seeded Portland Trailblazers. Whoever wins that will be the number 7 seed. And then the number 9 seeded Clippers will take on the number 10 seeded Golden State Warriors. Whoever wins that will face the loser of the 7-8 matchup to decide the 8 seed. So the bracket has us in this plan. I want to bring up the bracket here that I have on my phone because it helps me really break it down and take a good look at it. So the way that everything will set up here for the NBA is that we are looking at this upcoming, and I can't believe we're already in the playoffs. It's so crazy to think of this. But the fact that we're already in the postseason, this is how it all shape up. So, and then, in the Western Conference, I didn't let you know who is where. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 1 seed, and they will face the 8 seed once that's decided. The number 2 seeded San Antonio Spurs will take on the 7 seed once that's decided. The number 3 seeded Denver Nuggets will take on the 6 seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, and the number 4 seeded Los Angeles Lakers will take on the 5 seeded Houston Rockets. So that's how all of this looks, and the playoffs officially begin on April 18th, which is this Saturday, which, like I said, I can't even believe the season's already gotten to this point. So we will see who's going to take on these play-in teams, but we know that the schedule, and I want to be able to bring you that here, the schedule for this is coming up very soon, as we know that the official playoffs are going to begin 1 through 8 seed on Saturday, but before that we have to decide the play-in games to know the seeds. So So today, the Heat will take on the Hornets in their play-in game, the 9 seed versus the 10 seed. So the Heat will take on the Hornets being the 9 seed, so they will host in the Spectrum Center, where I just was a month ago, and bringing you the ACC tournament and bringing you Wake Up Call live from the Hive. So the Hornets will take on the Heat, and then the Suns will take on the Trailblazers. These are both going to be happening tonight. The Suns being the 7th seed, the Trailblazers being the 8th seed. So whoever wins the game tonight between the Heat and the Hornets will live to play another day. Whoever wins between the Suns and the Trailblazers will decide who the 7 seed is in the West. And then on Wednesday, April 15th, on Tax Day, the Magic will take on the 76ers, the Sixers being the 7 seed, and the Magic being the 8 seed. Whoever wins that game will become the 7 seed. The Clippers will take on the Warriors to live another day, and they will have to play for the 8 seed. And that'll bring us to Friday's games, and Friday will be the ultimate knockout game. So once again, because it gets a little confusing, whoever wins the Hornets Heat game today on Tuesday, April 14th, will have to play the winner, will have to play the loser of the 76ers Magic game. So whoever loses the 7-8 matchup is not out of it. They have a double elimination. So whoever is in the 7 and 8 matchup, whoever wins it is the 7 seed. Whoever loses the 7 and 8 matchup has to play the winner of the 9-10. So those teams that are in the 7 and 8 matchup have 2 shots to get in. If they win, they're the 7 seed in the 7-8 matchup. If they lose, then they get to play the winner of the 9-10. So happening once again tonight, the Hornets and the Heat, but then whoever loses the 9-10 matchup is out. So the Hornets are facing the Heat tonight. Whoever loses that game is out of the playoffs. Whoever wins that game will play on Friday against the loser of the Sixers and the Magic. And then for the Suns and the Trailblazers, whoever wins that matchup, because it's a 7-8 matchup, they're in. Whoever loses that matchup between the Suns and the Trailblazers will have to face off against the winner of the Clippers and the Warriors. And whoever loses between the Clippers and the Warriors is out. So hypothetically speaking, to make it make more sense, let's say the Hornets win tonight in the 9-10 matchup. Then they would have to play the loser of the Magic and Sixers. Let's say it's the Magic. So if the Sixers win in the 7-8 matchup, the Sixers are the 7 seed. If the Magic lose that game, right? So the Sixers win, the Magic lose, and the Hornets win tonight, then the Hornets will play the Magic for the 8 seed in the East. And then as far as the West goes, whoever wins between the Suns and the Trailblazers in the 7-8 matchup becomes the 7 seed. So let's say the Suns win tonight, which means the Blazers would play the winner of the Warriors-Clippers game. Let's just say it's the Warriors. So then the Blazers play the Warriors, and the Blazers beat the Warriors. The Blazers become the 8 seed. So that and those. So after the Tuesday, Wednesday games are decided, the ultimate play-in game decisions will be made Friday, April 17th, and then the playoffs officially start Saturday, April 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, with the Raptors taking on the Cavaliers in Cleveland. And then at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Wolves will travel to the Nuggets in the West. At 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the Hawks will travel to Madison Square Garden to face the Knicks. And at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Rockets will travel to LA to face the Lakers. So that's how the first portion of the official playoffs will be. And then the Celtics will face the 7 seed at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Thunder will face the 8 seed at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is on Sunday. The Pistons will face the 8 seed, whoever the 8 seed ends up being, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Spurs will face the 7 seed at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, all on Sunday, April 19th. So that's how the postseason will shape out for these teams. And, listen, it's been an interesting last couple of years how things have been, right? Detroit has risen up. Detroit used to be in the basement. Detroit was the team of they had to find the right coach. They got some players. It didn't work out. Detroit was a team that was trying to become an 8 seed at times. And now all of a sudden they're the number 1 team. Boston has risen back up here. The Knicks have found recent success over the last few years. The Cleveland Cavaliers have shown their relevancy. The Toronto Raptors are back in a place where they're making the postseason, which is huge. And then you look at the Hawks, who have found a way themselves to make it to the postseason, all in the East. The 76ers have dropped off a little bit here, but they're trying to find their footing. And then you look at the Orlando Magic, who were at one time the worst team in the East. The Charlotte Hornets, who were close to the bottom. Those are 2 teams that are fighting in the play-in games for an opportunity to be in the playoffs. And then you have the Miami Heat, who have dipped off, and now they're the 10 seed fighting for their life to try and get into this thing. So, it's interesting how things kind of happen when you look at the Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets, and even the Cleveland Cavaliers to an extent, and the Detroit Pistons. Just how those teams that were more on the side of Detroit, Orlando, and Charlotte that had dropped off, and how they've risen up. And then you look at teams like the Knicks even that have risen up, and then you have your contender, the Boston Celtics, staying relevant. You have Toronto staying relevant despite the fact that they lost their pieces from when they won the championship back in 2019. And then you got the Miami Heat, who have started to fall down here. The teams that are not going to be in the postseason in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, who have been a team that has been a championship contender, right? And then you have the Chicago Bulls, the Brooklyn Nets, the Indiana Pacers, and the Washington Wizards. On the other side of it in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, sans Kevin Durant, sans Russell Westbrook, sans James Harden, are now in 2026, and they're the number 1 team in the West. And you look at what they've done recently, and you look at, being a championship contending squad that they are. The San Antonio Spurs, who dipped off for a while without Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and so on and so forth, they found their way to the top 2. The Denver Nuggets, what were they going to be after they traded away Carmelo Anthony? And now they're in the top 3. The Los Angeles Lakers have consistently changed up their lineup with LeBron James being there and moving around the pieces, and there's still relevancy there. The Houston Rockets, they have had different iterations of their team in recent history, and they're there. The Minnesota Timberwolves used to be one of the worst teams in the entire NBA, and they're in the top 6 seeds, and they know that they're in the playoffs no matter what. Phoenix has dipped off a little bit. Portland has kind of been in that, place of where do they really stand in this I don't even want to call it purgatory, but this limbo, we'll call it. And then you look at the LA Clippers, who were a team that had risen up a little bit, and now they've dipped off. And the Golden State Warriors have almost completely fallen off the map. The New Orleans Pelicans, they're not going to be in it this year. The Dallas Mavericks, in that stupid trade, in my opinion, to get rid of Luka Doncic, their franchise player, they're not in the playoffs. And they got rid of, you look at what they did and what they brought in. And so when Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis came to the Mavericks, and now Anthony Davis isn't even there. So Dallas makes no sense to me, but they do have Cooper Flag. And then you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, who were a team that was typically in the top 8. They're not anymore. The Sacramento Kings made a run in the last few years, but they're typically on the bottom. And the Utah Jazz have completely fallen off. So the NBA has shown that, it's not just your usual suspects. And it'll be interesting to see if Oklahoma City can stave off everybody in the West and Detroit can do the same in the East. So I'm really looking forward to this postseason, and I'm looking forward to, I can't genuinely believe that this is all going to be happening. That the postseason literally starts tonight because of the play-in games, because they will decide who's going to be seated where. It's kind of like the play-in games for the NCAA tournament. So you have 8 teams in the NCAA tournament on the men's side. You have 8 teams in the NBA fighting for their lives to get into this thing. So the postseason essentially starts today because the 82 NBA games have been played. And we'll see what happens with the play-in games today and tomorrow, which will provoke the last-ditch or the last opportunity, and I want to call it a last-ditch effort, but, the teams that are fighting for their lives on Friday, those will make the final decisions, and then we'll officially have the field of 8 in the West and 8 in the East to play on Saturday, April 18th and Sunday, April 19th inside of the NBA. So that's a look at the NBA and how the playoffs will be as we get set for what is to come. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. I appreciate you being here. We'll be back right after this.
Avicolli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicolli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicolli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food in our pizza pub. That was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Hope you're having a wonderful morning this morning. We appreciate you being here where sports truly meets that thing called life. From the NBA to the WNBA and taking a look at what happened in the most recent WNBA draft. It's hard to believe. It's like it sneaks right up on you. It's like the women's basketball side of things has their national champion in the NCAA tournament decided, and then all of a sudden, here we are in the draft. So Fudd is your number one overall pick from UConn going to the Dallas Wings. So a shout out to that. And I want to take a look at how everything rounded out here. So the WNBA, draft, like I said, that happening. And like I said, I just feel like it sneaks up on you so quickly. But Fudd going number one overall to the Dallas Wings, and a congratulations to her for that. And as we go to the, draft overall in and of itself, I want to shout out the fact that Spain has had some players that were taken as well. So Fudd goes from UConn to the Dallas Wings, and then the Minnesota Lynx from the Chicago Sky get Olivia Miles from TCU. And then we have Awa Tham, center from Spain, going to the Seattle Storm from the Los Angeles Sparks. Lauren Betts going from UCLA and Spain to the Washington Mystics. And then we have Gabriela Jaquez of UCLA going to the Chicago Sky. And so, when you look at it and you look in these first five picks, you got two UCLA players that just won a national championship. So shout out to Lauren Betts and Gabriela Jaquez. And then we have Kiki Rice in the sixth pick going to the Toronto Tempo. So that new expansion team is getting their pick out of UCLA to get Kiki Rice. And then you have Yana Martin Carrion going from Spain to the Portland Fire with the 7th overall pick. Flau'jae Johnson going from LSU to the Golden State Valkyries, another team that is new to the WNBA, and that's with the 8th pick. And then the Washington Mystics got the 9th pick from the Seattle Storm, and they get Angela Dugalich from UCLA as well. And then Raven Johnson from South Carolina finishes out the top 10 picks in the WNBA draft, going to the Indiana Fever. So when you look at those first 10 picks of this 2026 WNBA draft, you have 2 UCLA players go in the top 5, and then you have 4 UCLA players go in the top 10, top 9. So shout out to UCLA winning a national championship and to their players getting drafted in the top 10 here for the WNBA shortly after they hoisted their NCAA tournament trophy for Division I women's basketball. And then you have Cody McMahon, forward out of Ole Miss, going to the Washington Mystics from the New York Liberty, 11th pick overall. And then Nell Angloma going from France to the Connecticut Sun, that pick from the Phoenix Mercury, 12th overall. And then, we have another UCLA player in Gianna going to the Connecticut Sun with the 15th overall pick. So, ultimately, looking at this draft in the first round, and they have 3 rounds in the WNBA draft, so they have 15 in the first round, and then they have 15 go in the second round, and in the third round, they will finish off with those last 15. And for those of you playing the home game, that's 45 picks, 15, 15, and 15. So, what I love about this whole thing, too, is seeing these new logos and these new teams. The Golden State Valkyries, the Portland Fire, the Toronto Tempo. Getting to see this, and of course, I've been a Raptors fan the entire time that the Raptors have been around. So since I was 9 years old. And so seeing them is, seeing that the WNBA has the Toronto Tempo, I'm really, really excited about this. And so in the Eastern Conference, now as you've seen the expansion of the WNBA, they have the Atlanta Dream, the Chicago Sky, the Connecticut Sun, the Indiana Fever, the New York Liberty, the Toronto Tempo, and the Washington Mystics. So they have 7 on that side. And in the Western Conference, they have the Dallas Wings, the Golden State Valkyries, the Las Vegas Aces, the Los Angeles Sparks, the Minnesota Lynx, the Phoenix Mercury, the Portland Fire, and the Seattle Storm, which is 8 on that side. 15 teams now in the WNBA, and just I love it. I love seeing the expansion. I love seeing the opportunities here, and I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. I mean, we looked at last year in the Eastern Conference, the Atlanta Dream were the top team in the East with a record of 30-14. And then we look at the Western Conference with the top team being the Minnesota Lynx that were 34-10. And so the Golden State Valkyries did play last season, but now we're going to see the institution of the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire. So 2 new teams coming in after we just had a new expansion team in the Golden State Valkyries. So, I mean, this has been great. It's been great for the WNBA. I mean, there was a time, I grew up as a kid where there was no WNBA. There was like nowhere. It's like you played for Tennessee, for Pat Summitt, or you played for Gino Auriemma at UConn, and then maybe you went overseas. You know, it was like those were the top 2 teams, and after that, it was like, what do you do? There was nowhere to go in the States. And then the WNBA came around, and it wasn't really covered, and it wasn't put on television, it wasn't talked about a lot. So then I got concerned that we have the WNBA, but that we were still going to lose it. And now we've seen its expansion. And I want to take a look at how the WNBA has come to be right now. So the Connecticut Sun announced that the 2026 season will be their last before the franchise moves to Houston for 2027, reviving the Houston Comets for the first time since 2008. And like I said, the 2026 season that is upon us here following the draft is going to feature the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire for the first time. So let's take a look at the history of the WNBA. The Atlanta Dream came in 2008, and they're still here. The Charlotte Sting were from 97 to 2006. The Chicago Sky came in 2006 and are still here. The Cleveland Rockers were from 97 to 2003. The Dallas Wings came in 2016 to the present. They were previously the Detroit Shock from 1998 to 2009, and then the Tulsa Shock from 2010 to 2015. Then they became the Dallas Wings. So that's the history of that franchise. The Golden State Valkyries came in last year in 2025. The Houston Comets were the Houston Comets from 1997 to 2000. The Houston Comets were around from 1997 to 2008. But now the new iteration of the Houston Comets, kind of like the Cleveland Browns, how there were the Browns, then they became the Ravens, and then there was a new Cleveland Brown team that came in 99. Well, that's how this Houston thing is working. The Houston Comets came and went 97 to 2008. The new Houston Comets are coming from the Orlando Miracle 99 to 2002, then the Connecticut Sun 2003 to the present, which will become the Houston Comets in 2027 and forward. The Indiana Fever came in 2000. The Las Vegas Aces came in 2018. But the Las Vegas Aces started as the Utah Stars franchise, 97 to 2002, which then became the San Antonio Silver Stars from 2003 to 2013, and then became the San Antonio Stars. They just dropped the silver from 2014 to 2017, which eventually have now become your Las Vegas Aces from 2018 to the present. The Los Angeles Sparks have been around from the beginning, 97 to the present. The Miami Soul only lasted a few seasons, 2000 to 2002. The Minnesota Lynx, 99 to the present. The New York Liberty have been around since the beginning, 97 to the present. The Phoenix Mercury have been around since the beginning, 97 to the present. The Portland Fire are new in 2026, but they did exist from 2000 to 2002. So the Portland Fire are returning. So Portland, Oregon is trying it again, which is interesting, and I hope it works the second time around. The Sacramento Monarchs were 97 to 2009. The Seattle Storm 2000 to the present. The Toronto Tempo is new in 2026, as I mentioned. And the Washington Mystics, pretty much from the beginning, 98 to the present. So that's what it looks like for this. So we will see after this season. Sad to see the Connecticut Sun go, but good to see the Houston Comets return. And then, shout out to the New York Liberty and the Phoenix Mercury and the Minnesota Lynx and the Washington Mystics that have kept this thing going for a long time. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. The Dallas Wings coming in 2016, like I mentioned, if they feel newer than they are. But yeah, I mean, seeing the expansion of the WNBA to get to 15 franchises is huge. And now the question becomes, where do they go from here? How do they grow from here? And hopefully everything works out for the best. And I'm definitely hoping for the best for all of these teams involved and really looking forward to what it's going to be here. I cannot wait to watch the Toronto Tempo. I'm really, really excited for that. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. The Toronto Tempo's roster's coming together with Julie Alamond. And then we have Elizabeth Balogun from Duke. We have Maria Kond from Florida State. Charlize Dunn from Davidson. Isabella Harrison from Tennessee. Lexi Helds from DePaul. And then they have other players they brought in through the, expansion world. And then you have Marina Mabry from Notre Dame. Kiki Rice from UCLA on the Toronto Tempo. And Madison Roshi is on the team as well. And then Brittany Sykes from Syracuse is on the Toronto Tempo. She's been added to the team. Christy Wallace from Baylor. So shout out to Toronto and shout out to Brittany Sykes. I covered Brittany Sykes when she was at Syracuse. So good to see you on a team that I'm definitely going to be covering and paying close attention to by the grace of God. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, it's NHL Talk here on Wake Up Call. Stay with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios as we are here with you to talk about the NHL before we jump into the newest Bearcat Breakroom. And so as we look at the NHL, we talk about the NBA heading into the postseason. Well, the NHL is doing the same thing. They're heading right toward that postseason here, and looking forward to what this NHL postseason is going to be. It's crazy how fast these things turn around. It really is. How everything just kind of works out the way that it does. So we know who's going to be in the postseason here for the NHL if the playoffs were to start today. So, there's still some time. But if it were to begin today, we know that I want to look at it by conference here. We have the Carolina Hurricanes that have punched their ticket. We know that they have the best record in the East, so they will be the top seed. And then we have the Buffalo Sabres, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Montreal Canadiens, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Boston Bruins, the Ottawa Senators, and the Philadelphia Flyers have all made it into the postseason. The Washington Capitals, Detroit Red Wings, Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders, New Jersey Devils, as well as the Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs, and New York Rangers have all been eliminated from the postseason. So we know that we have our teams that are going to be in it for the Eastern Conference. And then in the Western Conference, I want to take a look at this. Clint's President's Trophy, best regular season record, goes to the Colorado Avalanche, the Dallas Stars, the Minnesota Wild, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, the Utah Mammoth, as well as the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings have all made the postseason in the West. Out of the postseason, the Nashville Predators, San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, Winnipeg Jets, Seattle Kraken, Calgary Flames, Chicago Blackhawks, and the Vancouver Canucks. So if it were to start today, because I think there's still a little bit to figure out here because some teams have the same record. But if the postseason was to start today, Colorado would play the Avalanche would play the LA Kings. The Dallas Stars would play the Minnesota Wilds if things were to start today. And the Vegas Knights would take on the Utah Mammoth. The Edmonton Oilers will take on the Anaheim Ducks, my team. That's all on one side here in the West. And in the Eastern Conference, we would have Buffalo against Boston, Tampa Bay against Montreal, Carolina against Ottawa, and Pittsburgh against Philadelphia, which is I love those. I love when we get to see Pitt and Philly because that's the battle for Pennsylvania. So I'd definitely be looking forward to that matchup. So yeah, I mean that's how it looks right now now we got to look at some games here that matter. So we have some finales that are going to be happening today. So we know the three final spots in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs were secured for the Philadelphia Flyers, Anaheim Ducks, and Los Angeles Kings, which eliminated the 5 other teams that were still on the bubble. So we know that is here. And then Tuesday's 9 games will be the season finale for 10 teams. And so we have the New Jersey Devils at the Boston Bruins. So we know Boston's going. Carolina Hurricanes will face the New York Islanders on the road. Carolina's going. The Montreal Canadiens, who are not in it, will face Philadelphia in Philly. Philly's in it. The Washington Capitals at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Neither one is going to be playing. The Anaheim Ducks and the Minnesota Wild will face each other in Minnesota, but we know that they're both in the postseason. The Winnipeg Jets will take on the Utah Mammoth, who will move forward in this. Utah going to be going no matter what. The Colorado Avalanche, who have the best record in all of the NHL, will take on the Calgary Flames on the road. And the Pittsburgh Penguins will take on the St. Louis Blues. As we know, Pitt will be going into the postseason. And the Los Angeles Kings will finish off the season against the Vancouver Canucks, knowing that the Los Angeles Kings are going to be in the postseason as well. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm excited because my team is back. So I'm very excited because the Ducks are back in this thing. And so that's something I'm absolutely positively looking forward to, and cannot wait to see them back in the postseason. So that's going to be huge. And then we look at, and by the way, there has been some change with some things that have happened. Obviously, the NHL has found their way of expansion and whatnot, and the team that I was talking about, the Utah Mammoth, they were formerly the Arizona Coyotes, so they moved from Arizona to Utah and became the Mammoth. And I got to give it up to the NHL. There's a ton of I'm a logo guy. I'm all about, like, if it looks cool, I might, even if it's not like my team, I might just want to rock the logo. There's a bunch of teams that have that. There's a bunch of teams that just have some really awesome logos in the NHL. And I don't know if you've checked them out recently, but I mean, I would say they're all in the West for me. Obviously my Ducks, the Utah Mammoth I like the Nashville Predator logo as well. I like the Vegas Golden Knights, the Seattle Kraken. So there's a bunch of cool ones out there, but yeah, I'm excited for the postseason. Definitely looking forward to it, and can't wait to see I cannot, but it means that warmer weather is here, right? Because we are in April, and it was supposed to be spring on March 21st. That's the spring solstice. So it was supposed to be spring about a month ago, but we've had cold weather. And I think when you look at the weather for Syracuse, New York, moving forward here, I think we're supposed to be in the 70s, 60s, but then it's supposed to drop again. We've been doing these weird things. We've been doing like 70, 60, 40. We've been doing this, 30s, 40s, and then back up to 70 again. So it's been a little strange, but normally when you see the NHL and the NBA heading toward the postseason, that is telling you that we are heading to warmer weather and we're heading to the summer as we get this set. I just feel like it's early. It just feels really early for me, but I know these postseasons take a long time because of the length of the series. The NBA and the NHL starting now, but they're going to carry us through into warmer and warmer weather. So, as we take a look at this and see how everything is shaken out, I just want to look at the weather in Syracuse here. So today it's supposed to be 76. Yeah, I mean, look at this. 76 today, then 76, 74, 64 on Friday, 73, 63, and then it's supposed to be 40, 45, 55, 55. Makes me feel like the end of the world is coming. So enjoy the playoffs and enjoy the nice weather, because there is nice weather in certain parts of the country. But hey, listen, we navigate through it. I love my hometown. I got no complaints. And just very happy to be here with you and to be alive and to have the opportunity to share something I love with you. Listen, I have dreams and I chase them and I caught them, and I continue to chase them and catch them. And that's by the grace of God. I couldn't do anything without him. So I'm happy to be here with you, happy to be hanging out where sports meets life, and happy to talk with you about the NHL and the NBA getting ready for their postseason, believe it or not, and how quickly this is coming about for us. So crazy to think that the postseason is already here. And that, when the NHL wraps things up tonight, they're going to be heading into their postseason. And we know that the NBA is starting their play-in games tonight, which is technically the postseason, right? Because these teams are fighting for a spot in the playoffs. So it's just It is. It kind of sneaks up on you. In my opinion, I'm like, man, the NBA, see, because I'm following college football and college basketball as closely as I do, it's strange for me to think that the NBA and the NHL are already into the postseason because I'm just shifting gears into this and it's already over. So that being said, speaking of shifting gears, inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, it is always my honor and my privilege to be with you where sports truly meets that thing called life. And as we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we have the opportunity to speak with student athletes, coaches, and administration from Binghamton University and what we call Bearcat Time and the Bearcat Breakroom, bringing you student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year, is now featuring Tim Hennig from the Binghamton Baseball team, student athlete inside the 2026 season. And this team has gotten used to winning here, and I hope they continue to get used to winning for Binghamton University. So let's bring in Tim. Tim, how are you? Oh, we got you on mute here for a second, so let's see if we can take him off of mute. But Tim here with us inside of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Binghamton University Bearcats. And of course, proud to be here with Binghamton University every single week, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And so let's see if we can figure this thing out with Tim here. Let's see if we can make sure to get his audio up. So as we're working on that, we appreciate you being here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Once again, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, here with Tim Hennig of the Binghamton Baseball program, student athlete inside the 2026 season, inside of this Bearcat Breakroom. Tim, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Sorry about that mic issue.
No, that's okay. Happy to have you. And I'm going to ask you this. I can't, I mean, I know you got it all, hazed in the background here. We got the blurred background, but are you in the baseball facility right now?
Yes, I am. If I was better with Zoom and knew how to unblur my background, I would have that done, but this is what I'm left with, I guess, right now.
No, and I'm asking that because I can tell by the way that it looks behind you here because I got to tour the facility. I want to start there. What is it like for you to be in this incredible facility, this facility that I think would rival any conference, any school? I mean, I've walked through it. You are literally living in a professional baseball facility, in my opinion. What's it like having that at Binghamton?
It's absolutely unreal. This is now my third year here, and every day I walk in here, it never gets old. You get that feeling in your stomach. It's like that butterfly feeling. It's like, this is really, really cool. It's something you dream of really your whole life to be able to play in something like this, and it's something that I get to come to every day. So it really is special, and I love being here. I think the whole team loves being here because we spend just about every hour of our day in here, and really we're just sleeping at home. All the rest of the day spent in here. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, spending the day there. What's a typical day like for you in the baseball facility?
Mm-hmm. Well, now that we're in the spring, Tuesdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're playing games. So that's just all prepping for the game, getting ready for the game, and then eventually playing the game. Off days, Monday. So then really Wednesday, Thursday is our practice days, and that'll consist of a lift earlier in the morning, late afternoon, and then it's into practice, and then it's into extra swings later in the day, extra swings earlier in the morning if you can get in there before lift. So really just a lot of lifts, a lot of swings on the field, off the field. Last year we got that new infield dome pretty much. So we go in there a lot, and you could see really more ball flight. We do live at-bats in there. We do pretty much can play a full game of baseball in there, so we get a lot done.
Yeah, I mean, having the facilities that you have to be able to practice and then, like you said, simulate a game. I mean, this is not only incredible for any college or university, but it's imperative for a school that's in the Northeast that has to deal with the weather. I was just talking about the fact that we're in the 70s and 60s for the next few days, and then we're back in the 50s and 40s. So just what you can say to that effect that, you're at Binghamton University in upstate New York, in the Northeast where the weather can change at the drop of a hat, and you have the facilities that allow you to practice as well as facilitate and play a game despite whatever the weather's going to be.
Right. I think it's a luxury, and I think it's something that we have used to our advantage. Not many teams in the Northeast can say that they could practice and have a full infield, outfield at any given day, no matter the weather. But that's something that Binghamton can do here, and something we could do in practice. So we use it to our advantage, and it's something special.
Yeah, I love the fact that you have it. And I mean, for you, Tim, like you said, this is your third season. What was it about Binghamton that drew you in from the beginning?
Mm-hmm. For me, one, it's close to home, and for me, family is always important to me. So for them being able to drive 3.5, 4 hours to come watch me play, that was something that was big to me. Another big thing was the coaching staff here. They are unbelievable. It's like it's a second family here. They are truthful to you. They're not going behind your back. It's not one of those schools where, they're digging the portal and next thing you know, you're kicked out of here. They're truthful, they're honest, and they're straight up with you. If you're good, you play. If you're not good, then you got to work harder and you got to get better. So that was one thing that I really loved here. And the third, it has to be the facility. This facility, like we were just talking about, it rivals SEC, facilities. It's one of the best in the country. Yeah. It's by far the best in the Northeast. So it's just hard to turn that down. It's hard to look at this and say, man, I really don't want to go play there. It's something you see, and it's like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, and you play good teams throughout the country, and you put yourself on the road, obviously, being a Northeast team to open up the season. And you went to Dallas Baptist University, and that's a school that's done some good things and had a lot of success. So when you go and see their facility, when you're around their area, and then you think about yours, what can you say, Binghamton to a Dallas Baptist facility?
Right. Stadium-wise, I say it's similar. Both beautiful.
Yeah. They
have the luxury of getting to go outside more with their nicer weather down there all year round, but we have the luxury of having these inside facilities. So it's, kind of both ends of the spectrum there. One of the coolest things I think for me was when we go down there and when you get a second and you're talking to one of their kids or coaches and they're like, oh, you guys have that incredible facility up there. So this has become something that's known nationwide.
Yeah.
Every team that we play knows about it, and they're interested in it, just like we're interested in them. So it kind of goes both ways. We talk about it, and everyone thinks it's pretty cool. So I enjoy that part of it.
Yeah. In the travels that you've gotten to do over the years, do you have a favorite place that Binghamton has gone out to that you just think about and kind of close your eyes and say, I'm really happy I got to go to this place. I'm really happy I got to play this team. Is there a team or two that sticks out to you?
I'd have to put Georgia up there. Okay. One, the facilities that they have, that's an SEC powerhouse, and that was really cool. Also, the environment that created in that regional, that was one of the best environments I've ever been in. So that one, I think, is at the top. But there's a handful of others. I thought ETSU was very, very cool. I thought MTSU, Middle Tennessee, I thought that was very cool as well. And there's definitely some other ones that are close up there too, but those three for me were very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the road that you've taken to get to where you are, I mean, we look at the road this season. The team is 17-13, and you're looking at the fact that you're 9-3 in the America East, a 75% winning percentage. You've won 7 in a row, and 9-2 at home. So obviously taking care of that home area that we've just talked about here for the last few minutes. And the Bats have come alive. You had a 16-5 win in 8 innings, most recently on Sunday, April 12th against UMBC at home. You had 11-1 victory over Siena at home in 7 innings. We look at these games, the game against Lemoyne, 17-6 in 7 innings. So, your Bats have definitely been here. And in this 7-game winning streak, you've been able to win in games that are very closely contested, as well as games that you've blown out. We talked about the blowouts, but we also have a 10-inning game against UMBC that you won 6-5, a game you won against them 4-3. We have a 5-4 6-4 victory against NJIT, an 8-6 in 11 innings, a 6-3 victory as well. So bring me into this 7-game winning streak and how you've had some games where you've blown out a team and the game ends early, and you've had other games where you got to go to extra innings or you got to come down to the wire and win by 1 run.
Right. I think that just gives credit to both the offense, defense, and the pitching staff. When we have our offense going, that's great, and we'll win that way. But when we don't have our offense going, or we don't have our best offense out there, or whatever it is, we're not swinging it great, our pitching staff seems to step up. So I think that's a great factor of this team, and I think it's something that's going to take us very far in the season, is that both ends can kind of pick up for us whenever we need it. Obviously, as a hitter and as a position guy, I love when we're swinging it. I love when we're scoring 15 runs a game. It's great. But ultimately, we like to win. So if we're not swinging it that day, our pitching staff has done a great job to keep us in these 11-inning games, which is tough to do. 11 innings to keep it to 5 runs, 4 runs. It's not easy. And our pitching staff has done an incredible job of that, to limit and to keep us in games that we really could have got blown out of it if something went wrong in a couple of these innings. So I think that just shows that Binghamton's got both this year. We got an offense that could come alive, and we got a pitching staff that could hold it down to whatever we need.
Yeah, I mean, in your most recent series that you had against UMBC inside of the America East at home in your baseball complex, that was the 6-5 10-inning, the 4-3, and the 16-5 8-inning game that you had. Bring me into this series specifically and just what it was like to gut out those first 2 wins and then make sure that you finished off the series with a victory.
Right. Again, an in-conference series is always tough. We always like to use the words gritty over pretty, which people might look at that as, what is this kid saying as he's in his $60 million facility? What does he mean gritty over pretty? But it's not necessarily about that. It's more necessarily about the play style that we play with. Things might not be the prettiest in conference, but we're going to find a way to grit it out, tough it out, and come out with a win. So those 2 games, Friday, Saturday, are really, really tough, good wins that, again, the pitching staff held down and took us into extras, and we came out with that win that we really needed. And then Sunday, we were talking about it kind of as a statement win.
Yeah.
Hey, Binghamton's here again this year. It maybe new guys, but it's still that same culture. It's still Binghamton University, and they were right back in it again this year. So that was a big statement win, and a really good sweep for the second weekend in a row.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've talked about the team when we look at the season so far. Tim, what about for yourself personally? What have you seen from your own play, your growth? What were you against Dallas Baptist in the first series to what you are today?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of growth. Dallas Baptist was a struggle. Even in the beginning of the year, it was a struggle. There was a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Starting to find a little bit more consistency, offense and defensively. But really just trying to make the most of it, trying to stay consistent, trying to, do what I can do to be the most productive person on the field, whether it be on the field or in the batter's box, whatever it may be. Just also taking what I've learned from a lot of those older guys. Obviously now, like I said, this is my 3rd year here. I've learned a lot from guys that have a lot more experience than I do. So just trying to pick their brain, see what they say, and trying to learn from some of the best that came through here and following those footsteps.
Who are some of those people whose brains you've picked, so to speak, that you really felt like you wanted to hear from and get some knowledge and wisdom from?
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a handful. One of them that does stand out is Devin Bade, the previous third baseman here who had an unbelievable career. He's now actually a graduate assistant. So kind of the past 2 years being able to watch him play, watch what he does to prepare for games. It was a treat, and it was something that I really needed to grow as a player. And now having him here in the dugout, as I am now playing third base, it's something, that I couldn't even dream of, and it's awesome because I'll come right into the dugout whether I make a play, whether it's an at bat, whatever it is, and immediately we're talking about it. It could have been the best play I've made in my life, or it could have been the worst play I've made in my life. We're talking about it. We're learning from it. So to have another kid that was just in my footsteps pretty much, or just in the situation that I'm in now, and has 4 years of experience, it's really special to learn from someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you, like you said, playing third base now, I mean, has this essentially been a dream come true for you? Is this something that's really turned into something, incredible that you're living in the moment?
Yeah. This has pretty much been my dream always, just playing college baseball at a high level.
Yeah.
And I would have never imagined it would have been at Binghamton University with this facility that we have here and the success that we've been able to have in the past couple of years. So it absolutely is a dream come true. And, wherever I was playing, I just wanted to make sure I was playing. I didn't care if it was exactly third base like we had talked about. I just wanted to play. And now that I've found a spot over there at third base this year, and I'm very happy to be over there, very happy to be playing, and very happy to be a part of this team.
So for you, how would you describe what third base is to you? I mean, so many people analyze the game, watch the game, talk about the game. When you're seeing the field from that point of view, bring me into your viewfinder and what it's like to see everything from third base.
Right. It's a little different. It's an adjustment that I've had to make. I'm kind of more used to playing second base, shortstop in high school. So to switch over there to third base, it was a little bit of an adjustment. But they call it the hot corner for a reason. So there's definitely some balls getting smoked at you, some hard hit balls. But then you also get those weird in between short hops that you got to come kind of charge, get on pick the short hop and throw on the run. So there's definitely some more not as routine plays, I would think, at third base, where they're just your routine ground ball, pick it up, throw it over. So you kind of got to be ready for it all. You got to be ready for a ball that's hit pretty hard, but you got to be ready to go, run in there for a bunt or whatever it may be.
For you, when you're making a split-second decision, what goes in? I know every play is going to be different, but what goes into how fast you react and try to anticipate what's going to happen, either by a base runner or by a hitter? What are some of the things that you think about in those split-second moments where it could be the game literally on the line?
Right. I'd say in those split seconds, it's honestly nothing. I'm not thinking. At that point, I'm just doing. A lot of that comes pre-pitch, thinking about the situation, thinking about how many outs, where the runners are, where we're positioned in the field and whatnot. And then once the ball's hit, it's really just instincts take over. I hope that I thought about it enough in pre-pitch. I thought about, hopefully I made the right decision pre-pitch, where if that ball's hit there, I'm going here with it. If that ball's hit over there, I'm going to switch up and go over there with it. So a lot of it comes pre-pitch. Once that ball is put in play, all thoughts pretty much go out the window, and it's just go make a play.
Yeah. And I mean, seeing the game the way that it has become in Major League Baseball, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about some things and wondering your thoughts. Do you like the ABS system? Do you like that we can be in a place now where you can challenge, pitchers can challenge and we're tracking, are the umpires right? Or the pitchers can challenge, the catchers can challenge, the batters can challenge. They said they wanted to speed the game up with the pitch clock, but now I feel like we're slowing the game down with the challenges. I'd love to get your thoughts from the pitch clock to the ABS system. What do you like? What don't you like? Do you think the game is evolving, or do you think the game is devolving right now?
I think it's evolving. I personally love the ABS. I was worried it was going to take out some of the framing of the catchers and the whole, art of the catching aspect of the game. But it really hasn't, especially when you get 2 challenges a game. You're not going to challenge early. You're still trying to make the umpire make a call that, maybe you want to go your way and force them to use a challenge. So I absolutely love it. I think it's great. that we've seen countless amount of times in the past years where in big situations, these umpires make bad calls, and it has ruined at bats and it has ruined chances for teams. Yeah. So with this ABS now, it kind of limits some of that, and it kind of takes some of that away. And I think it makes it as fair as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, there's some decisions that have been wrong. So you want to make sure that you do what you can to right those ships, especially if it comes down to a play or two. It's also, something where, I don't know, I kind of just look at this and I'm like, man, some are wrong and some are right, though. I mean, the Arizona Diamondbacks, my favorite team as of last week, were the best team in challenges. So I got no qualms about that. Who's your favorite team, Tim?
I'm a big Yankee fan.
Okay, so you're a Yankee fan. I figured as much coming from Wantagh, New York. So bring me into the Yankees. Favorite Yankee right now, favorite Yankee all time?
All time, I have to go Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Growing up a middle infielder, watching him play for a lot of years, it's got to be Derek Jeter all time. And then right now, again, the easy answer would be Aaron Judge. He's a blast to watch. But I love the Mayhew when he was on the team as well.
Okay.
So now that he's gone, I probably have to go Judge.
Okay. All right. Favorite pitcher in Yankee history?
Again, I'd actually probably go CC Sabathia.
Okay. Now, CC's gotten some love, and he's also gotten the overrated. Why do you like CC Sabathia?
I just love the way he played the game. I thought that countless amount of times he showed that he was there for the team and he wasn't there for himself. He would do anything to back up that team and win ultimately. So I feel like a lot of pitchers nowadays, it's kind of like, oh, what's my ERA? What's my stats? I want to be good, instead of what can I do to help this team win so that we could be good. And I thought CC was a perfect example of a team guy that was going out there and hoping that the Yankees won, and not that he did well that day. He just wanted the team to win.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I definitely think that, when you're more about team over self, there's something to be said about that. I don't think you can have success. I don't think you can have success with two people, let alone an entire team, if you don't establish a teamwork and a framework around that. Before we jump into rapid fire here with Tim Hennig today in this Bearcat Breakroom in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I do want to go back in time with you, Tim. When did you start playing baseball, and when did you learn you loved it? For some people, it's the same. It's I started playing and I automatically loved it. To some people, it's I started playing and then 5 years later, 8 years later, 2 years later, I fell in love with it. So bring me into when you started playing and when you really felt like, hey, I think this is my thing.
Yeah, I started playing at a really young age. My whole family is big into baseball. My dad played. All my uncles have played. So I probably had a bat in my hand from the second that I could probably walk, which I don't even remember. But when I started really falling in love with the game was probably late elementary school. So fifth grade, I would assume, is like the first memory I have of playing back behind my elementary school. And I was like, man, this is awesome. I love this. And then from there, just kind of stuck with it. And I also used to play lacrosse, which was the same season. So eventually it came time to make a decision. It was like, what do you want to play, lacrosse or baseball? And I was like, I don't really know. My whole family kind of likes baseball, so I'll just go baseball. And then from there, it just took off and really, really fell in love with it around 5th, 6th grade, yeah.
Do you miss lacrosse? Do you ever play a pickup lacrosse game?
No, I haven't touched a stick in a long time, and I'm okay with that. I'll stick to baseball. I love baseball, and I can pass on lacrosse.
When you were growing up as a kid, did you have a position you wanted to play in baseball? Was it third base? I mean, where you are today, did you gravitate toward the place that you thought you would be, or was there a different position that you had in mind?
When I was younger, I loved first base.
Okay.
Because I think you were just involved in every play, which is I just wanted to be able to catch the ball every play. But then as I started getting older, I love shortstop. I love second base, and now I'm starting to love third base. So really anywhere in the infield, I enjoy.
For you, if you were asked to go to the outfield tomorrow, if Tim Hennig
Mhm.
said, I'm putting you back there, center, left, right, where you want to be, and why?
Probably center field.
Okay, why?
I've had a little bit of time in left and right, and for me, those balls spin a little bit too much. I can't read that ball, and they just get lost, and I got no chance out there. So center field, it stays a little bit more true, less spin. And our center fielder right now, Matt Bolton, he makes it look pretty fun. He's pretty darn good out there. So I love watching him go track down a fly ball. So I'd have to pick center.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to the batter's box. Do you have a style? Do you have something you do? Is there something you do from dugout to the plate? Is there something you do when you're just practicing your swing? Do you say a prayer? Do you say a mantra to yourself? Do you have something you do like tap your shoulder, like something that's just a you thing? Do you do something at the plate? What is the thing that maybe you're consistently doing when you're going up to bat?
I'd say it's really just breathing, making sure I'm breathing correctly, trying to calm down my body. I don't really have any certain superstition before I have an at bat or anything that I touch, or it's just making sure I'm breathing correctly, making sure I'm as relaxed as I possibly can be, and making sure I'm going up there to have a good at bat.
The art of breathing is something that a lot of people don't think about because we breathe, to stay alive. But there's this active breathing. There's this like taking control of calming yourself down. How have you gotten good at doing something like that?
Yeah, I think it just comes from understanding situations and understanding that you can't make or you can't think too big of a situation that you're in, because eventually you're going to look back on that and it's not going to feel as big as it was. So trying to look in the big picture of it, trying to just stay in the moment and say, okay, this is, kind of where we are right now. I've done this countless amount of times. I've been playing baseball for 18 years. So I've had this at bat probably over 100 times in my life. Just go up there and kind of do what you know how to do. Don't make too much of it.
I love it. You just said a lot of life stuff in there, even though you talked about baseball. Let's jump into rapid fire. Tim and I are going to put each other on the hot seat. We can ask each other any question, any topic. We have to answer it. And we're going to go back and forth, Tim. So student athletes never get to ask questions, so enjoy this one. What is your first question for me?
Ooh. This might be the first time I've ever been asked to do this. A little off topic here, baseball, but with the Masters finishing up recently.
Yeah.
If you won the Masters and you had a champions dinner, what would your dinner consist of? It's, I believe it's 3 or 4 appetizers, a first course, an entree, like a main course, and then a dessert.
Okay. So, all right. So 4 appetizers. I'm just going to go with the things that are in my head first. I'm going to have, probably going to have some type of sushi.
Okay.
I have some sushi. Not raw sushi. I don't like raw sushi. So I'm going to have some let's say shrimp tempura. I'm going to have some shrimp tempura. I'm going to have some spinach and artichoke dip. I'm going to have, what else do I want as an appetizer? I'm going to have some potato skins because I miss a good potato skin. I'm going to get some potato skins. And give me some pretzel bites. No. Broccoli bites. They used to have them at Bennigan's. The broccoli and cheddar, and it was fried, and then you dip it in their honey mustard. Give me some broccoli bites from Back. That would be on my, if I was on death row, that would be on my meal. So give me some broccoli bites. And then my starter, give me some, what do I want here? I want a soup. Some type of a soup. Give me a good like seafood soup, like some type of seafood bisque or something like that. And then my entree is going to have a sweet potato. It's going to have chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli. I'm going to season that chicken up right. And then my dessert is going to be some type of chocolate raspberry cake. That's what I'm doing.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm starving now. And then my question back to you, Tim. All right, we're going to live in the superhero world because I believe everyone can be a superhero in their own way. So let's be a superhero. You get to pick 2 of your teammates. No, I'm sorry. You're going to pick 4 of your teammates. We're going to assemble the Avengers. You're going to do it, though. So you need to pick 4 of your teammates. You need to turn them into superheroes, and you have to turn yourself into a superhero. So give me who you become, and give me your 4 teammates by name, and tell me who they become, and tell me who the new Avengers are going to be from Binghamton University.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to have to say, I think I want to be Iron Man.
Okay.
So I'm going to be Iron Man.
You see my shirt, right?
I did not even see that until now. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go Iron Man. Okay. And you said 4 others?
4 others and your teammates, yep.
We'll go Hayden Tarcia, and he'll go Thor.
Okay.
And then we'll go Jackson Mitchell, who I think you had earlier this year. Spider-Man.
Okay.
And then Ben Griffith. There'll be I'm drawing a blank in this guy. Who's the guy with the bow and arrow?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. And one more.
Yep.
We'll go Ian Kaiser. And I'm going to make him who do I want to make him? Trying to think of another good one for him. My movie knowledge also isn't great either.
Okay. I mean, you can make him literally anything. Any of the Fantastic Four. You can make him. I'm trying to think here. You can make him Vision. You can make him Falcon. You can.
We'll go Falcon for him.
Falcon. Okay.
Yeah,
see,
I think that's
you missed the boat on Ben Griffith because Ben Griffith sounds like Ben Grimm, and Ben Grimm is the Thing in the Fantastic Four. So
you're totally right.
You could have made him a giant rock. So, what's your next question for me?
I'm gonna have to go. What is the best in-person sporting event that you've ever been to in your life?
College football playoff national championship, and I've been to the last 2, and I've been on the field, and probably the first one because I met Captain America on the field. So so this is where I tell people, whether they believe in God or they don't, I believe that there is always a place in your life where you can find him. And so I had my badge, and I had been to the Peach Bowl a couple weeks before in Atlanta. So it was the same stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we had the championship there. So I was on the field for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and I come back and I go on the field, and they're like, you can't go on the field. I said, no, I go on the field pre-45, post-5. And they're like, no, it's not on your badge. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be. So they're like, well, you got to go talk to somebody. So I go and I ask, and I'm waiting for this guy to fix my badge. Well, he thinks that I'm asking to be a photographer because there was 3 photographers there. I wasn't asking to be a photographer. I was like, he's like, oh, no, I can't do this because you didn't apply for this. I go, no. I'm a broadcaster. This is what I'm asking for. and there was another guy that was a reporter, and he was trying to get in, but he was being rude. So I like distanced myself from him, and I said to the guy, like, hey, whatever you can do. The guy came back. Like, he came over to us once, then he came back a second time, and I was like, whatever you can do, I greatly appreciate it. I love covering the CFP. They fix it for me. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, that was like 25, 30 minutes. I'm standing by the door. I'm cold. I'm in my suit. I just want to get on the field. So I can be a little annoyed, right? This is a moment where people are normally like a little perturbed. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Forget about it. Don't be annoyed. You're going on the field. So I go on to the field. I'm not even on the field 10 minutes. I'm maybe on the field 5 minutes. And I walk forward. And as I'm walking, I look up and here's Anthony Mackie. And I was like, I looked up at God. Okay. So I went over to him, and there's people looking at him, and nobody's saying anything. And I was like, screw it. I'm not going to be this close and not say something. So I went over to him, and I said, hey, excuse me. And he didn't say anything at first. And then I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, hey, Anthony, Dan Tortora, just wanted to come over to you and tell you that I really appreciate seeing you as Captain America. I love how you're representing it, and I appreciate it. And so he shook my hand. He said, thank you. And I asked if we could take a picture. And he obliged me, and he said yes, that he would do that. So I'm going to try and show you that right now. But so here's the funny thing. So I asked to take this picture, and, everything happens that makes me wait. I get annoyed that I have to wait. And here's God in the background going, you don't know why, but I got a better plan for you. And I'm making you wait so that you can actually meet this guy. Because if I got on the field when I wanted to get on the field, I would have totally walked by where he was. And there's a good chance I would have never seen Anthony Mackie. So with that being said.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great picture.
Yeah. So we had the opportunity to meet each other. So that was pretty cool. So I'll probably have to pick the CFP. Yeah, it did. My question back to you. Okay, so I have my own breakfast sandwich in my hometown of Syracuse at Mother's Cupboard. If you were to create your own sandwich, doesn't have to be a breakfast sandwich, but if you were to create your own sandwich, what restaurant would you put it in, and what would the sandwich entail?
Well, I love a good breakfast sandwich. I think it is going to have to be a breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
It's going to be from a bagel shop in town and from my hometown, Wantagh, Town Bagel. And I'm going to go bacon, egg, and cheese. The eggs are going to be over easy, and salt, pepper, ketchup.
Okay.
On an egg everything bagel, and I'm going to add some hash browns on top of it as well.
When I go anywhere near Long Island or New York City, it's egg everything bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup. So I am 100% with you on that one. What is your last question? What'd you say?
I said you can't beat it.
No. What's your last question for me, Tim?
One more. What's one thing about yourself that no one would really ever expect unless they knew you, personally?
That's a good question. I would say the fact that I can sing. I don't think a lot of people know that. And it's weird because I think people know me for broadcasting. And whenever I say like, oh, I've been singing most of my life since I was 3 and I've written a bunch of songs, I think that kind of like throws people off that they just didn't expect it because a lot of people meet me through this. So I would say my music.
What do you like to sing?
A little bit of everything. I live in a world of like classic rock, R&B, country, but I would say my voice really kind of lives in this like Bon Jovi meets R&B. Like I feel like that's kind of where I live. I can go to a lot of different places with my voice, and there's definitely some fire to it. I would say there's something to like how I do what I do. And, I think finding my voice over time, I think growing up as a kid, I was trying to mimic voices because I can do impressions. And so I was trying to like mimic when I heard somebody sing, I was trying to sing like them. And then I had my tonsils out, and I feel like healing from that kind of left me in a place of like, okay, what's your voice? And then I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I felt like during this whole process, I've been kind of finding my actual sound to a point where now I actually feel like I have it. So my buddy Josh and I were sitting a couple months ago, and we're just like sitting in my basement, watching TV, hanging out. And I was like, you know what? Because he does music too. I said, I'm going to sing. You haven't heard me. I said, but I said, I know you're going to tell me if you like it or if you don't like it. So I'm just going to do it. And I picked a song that really like describes my voice. And I played this song, and I put it low, and I sang, and he sat on the couch, and I can see him out of the corner of my eye, and he's like, wait, what? And he's looking at me, and he's going like, dude. And then when I finished, he was like, so it's not that I didn't think you could sing, but he's like, you didn't just sing, you sang that song. He was like, you sang with like an ang. He's like, bro, that was nuts. He's like, you're really good. And so, and I know he's the type of friend that'll be like, hey, you know, I love you to pieces, but that didn't sound good. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, he's the one that's heard me most recently, but I keep it really close to my vest.
Very cool. Very cool.
My last question for you, Tim, let's stay with music. If you could go on tour with any 3 bands and or solo artists, who would you go on tour with and why?
My first one, it's going to have to be country, and I think it's going to have to be Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
It might be a popular one, but I like a lot of his songs, and I mean, some of the crowds that he pulls in is incredible. So I think that would be a really cool experience. I'm also a big fan of the house music EDM. So there's this, I believe it's 2 people, Twin Sync. They're 2 younger guys, and they kind of do a whole bunch of DJ remixes and mashups, and they go across the country. So I think I'd want to go with them for one.
Okay.
And then a third one, I think I'd go back to country, and I would say Luke Combs.
Okay.
I'm a big Luke Combs fan, like a lot of his songs. And, you know, similar thing. I think it's a great atmosphere, and I definitely would love to see some concerts of theirs, so I'd have to jump on tour with them.
I love it. Good choices. Tim Hennig here with us from Binghamton Baseball inside the 2026 season. Go and support your Bearcats on the road and at home at the Bearcat Complex in this Bearcat Breakroom inside our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University here on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Tim, you've been a pleasure. I give you my best. I look forward to everything you guys will have going on this season, and keep enjoying third base, man.
Will do. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you having me today.
Of course, man. Take care.
Take care.
That coming from Tim Hennig one more time of Binghamton Baseball. We will take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for a fast break. I appreciate you all, and I thank you all for being here where sports truly meets that thing called life inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We will be back with those ingredients to success right after this. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. We have a delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K9 Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K9 Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K9 Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K9 Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily? In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. And right on time we are for the Ingredients to Success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's. Avicolli's comes to you on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. They are open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. And of course, always drink responsibly if you're going to do that, and only if you're of age. But they are there with their indoor and outdoor seating. As it gets nicer outside, that outdoor seating will be available to you. The indoor seating on the fine dining side, as well as the casual pizza side. And of course, you can also go to Avicolli's and sit at the bar. For takeout, delivery, and catering, you can call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100 to get in touch with Avicolli's today. And the Ingredients to Success, today's topic for the Ingredients to Success is being the best you. Being the best you. You know, there's a quote. I decided to go back and watch the Avengers movies, and I had never watched the 4 Avengers movies in succession, right? Because they came out at different times with movies in between. But I decided to go and watch the Avengers movies together over this past weekend. And I want us to talk about Frigga's quote to Thor in Avengers Endgame, and what she said. She said, "Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. The measure of a person, of a hero, is how well they succeed at being who they are." See, we're all going to fail at what other people expect us to be. We're going to fail at what other people think we should be. We're going to fail at what other people want us to be. And we're going to fail when we try to be something we're not. Now, there's a cop-out in this world, right? Because listen, your personality is your personality, right? But how you treat people, that's not a personality. That's a decision on your character. And I think people get stuff misconstrued, right? I've had people tell me before, like, I'm mean to people, that's just who I am, accept it. Yeah, I had a friend that would tell me I'm selfish, deal with it. You know, and to me, those are character flaws. Those are not, that's my personality, right? Some of us are more structured people. Some of us are more fly by the seat of our pants, right? Some people have to plan things out, and some people can just go do it. Some people have to think things over and think about every possible outcome before they even leave the house, and other people leave the house and figure it out as they go. You know, I would say I'm somebody that functions in this organized, but also not disorganized, but I function in an organized, but also controlled chaos. And what I mean by that is I want a clean house, but I have to have certain papers in certain stacks in certain places so I don't forget that I have to pay that bill, and I don't forget that I have to, you know, bring that somewhere or take that somewhere. So to me, I have to have a balance between I'm not going to have a dirty house, but I'm also not going to like put everything completely away. Like I can't have a filing cabinet where I just put everything away. Like I put a lot of stuff away, but there's certain things I have to have. Like right off of the camera view here, I have like a stack and it's not high, but it's just got some stuff. And then I had some like meaningful stuff like the NCAA tournament brackets to be like, oh, okay, that's the bracket that, you know, I used for this and that, and I can go back to it and take a look at it. So there's certain things that I try to keep close to me. Now, how I treat people, that people can't just say, well, you know, that's just me, right? That's just me. I'm just a mean person. I'm just a heartless person. You know, I had a friend, but a guy that, you know, there was 3 of us that lived together when I was working down in Florida. And he used to tell me, like, I'm a flirt. My girlfriend's supposed to just get that. And I was like, you shouldn't have a girlfriend. You can't just tell people that. I mean, you know what I mean? If you're a flirt, then you're single. So there's certain things that are strange to tell people, like, oh, that's just who I am. That's just what I'm about. And also, those are red flags. So you get away from people like that. You know, we're all different. Some of us, like I said, are very structured, right? We got to, if anything obstructs the structure, then it shakes us, right? Some people make themselves very, very structured. And everything has to have its place in time. When I've realized about life, that's not how life works. No matter how structured you become, there will be a storm. There will be a flood. There will be a tornado. Figuratively or literally, something like that happens, right? Like, I can be as structured as I want to be, but something's going to shake my foundation. And sometimes it's shaking my foundation because my house needs to be moved and I'm not doing things right. And sometimes it's shaking my foundation to test how strong I am. And knowledge and wisdom over time, I think, helps us figure out which is which. But being the best version of yourself is saying, hey, if people like me or don't like me, I'm going to be me, right? I'm a loving, caring person. I've tried to be the cold, jaded, angry person, and I don't like that. So I'm a loving, caring person. If I can help you, then I'll help you. And I can help anybody. I know that. I don't have to give you money and this and that, but I can say hi. I can ask how you're doing. See, I'm the type of person where I will give you everything I possibly can. But if you treat me poorly, I will match pitch. That's what I do. Like, I'll give you everything I possibly can, but if you give me nothing, then I will give you back nothing. Because I believe people should get what they give. And so, right off the bat, when somebody first meets me, you will get it all. But if you don't appreciate it and you give nothing, then I won't keep giving, because to me that's stupid. To me, it's like throwing my heart and soul into a furnace, and I can't do that. So I'm the type of person where, like, I know I'm a loving, caring person, but I know that not everybody takes care of loving, caring people. I know that. So sometimes I'm a loving, caring person, and I learn someone's behavior, and then I go, okay, you know what? Maybe don't give as much. Maybe don't say as much. But if I can't be myself, then I can't be myself. And I think the best thing about learning who you are is learning to not apologize for having a big heart in a cold world. Because I do have a big heart. I do. I feel bad. Like, I cry when people tell me their stories of when they've been hurt. I don't have to be there. I don't have to be you. Like, I feel it. You know, when somebody really genuinely loves something, I feel that emotion from them. When someone's talking to me about somebody that they miss, that passed away, that they really care about, I feel that love. And it chokes me up. You know, I'm that type of person where if you're talking to me about something that matters to you, I'm going to feel that with you. If you're talking about something that really hurt you, I'm going to feel that with you. And if I feel safe with you, then I'll share things with you. What did I just say to Tim? A lot of people don't know that I could sing because I don't share that. Now you're saying, well, you're sharing it on your show. You know, millions of people could hear this right now all around the world. And it's like, yeah. You know, people could hear this around the world right now and be like, oh, Dan, I didn't know you could sing. But see, the thing is when I'm building relationships, I'm really trying to understand who I am. I think we all have faults. We all have flaws. And, I used to think in relationships, in friendships, in romance, in business, I used to think I have to be completely healed in order to start a new relationship. And the reality of it all is, if you've been on this planet long enough, something hurt you, and none of us are completely healed. We all have wounds. And, I was listening to something recently about how people are mirrors. That when you're in a relationship, the person that you're dating is a mirror to you. They expose all of the unhealed parts of you. They expose all of the worries and the doubts in you. They expose the flaws, not because they want to, but because if they really genuinely care about you and they're there for you, they're going to show you, because they're trying to get close to you, they're going to show you all the pieces of yourself that are still broken. And I had never really heard that before. I know that I have flaws that I should have fixed a long time ago. And I know that I've gotten a lot better, but to somebody that's met you today, they wouldn't know that you've gotten a lot better. They just know who you are today. So they might look at you and say, wow, you really need to work on this, or you really need to work on that, or this is something that I don't know why you didn't work on. But they don't know everything that happened before. They don't know how it affected you, and they don't know who you were then versus who you are now. I know that I've grown as a person. I'm not perfect, but I used to think that you had to be completely healed to enter into a relationship. And what I've realized in every relationship I've tried to enter into, no one is ever completely healed. It's just the people you want to go through it with. And that's what I've really learned about life is it's not about they better be completely right and I better be completely right and we better be completely compatible. Love is a choice. It's not just a feeling. When you like somebody, you have to make a choice every day to give them a chance, to let them see you when you're not your best, to let them see you when you are, and to grow with them. I'm not saying that you terrorize each other, but I don't know a good relationship that doesn't have a fight or two. I don't know anybody who's completely healed from what they've been through. Some of my closest friends are married to people that have very differing views on things. They're on two separate ends of the spectrum, but they work through things together. And I value that. What I've learned about life is compatible is a stupid word. It's something that was put in books, was put in magazines for women to throw at guys and guys to throw at women. What's your score? Are you a Libra? Oh, you don't fit a Taurus. Are you an Aries? Well, you don't fit Sagittarius. It's just stupid music. I mean, that's what it is. It's just stupid. It's just like a bunch of notes going nowhere. And I just feel like when you meet someone, if you're attracted to them and you like them and they treat you well and you feel good when you're around them and you feel special and appreciated and you really just have something inside of you that says, I like that person, then you got to struggle with that person sometimes. Because, when you see somebody's weaknesses, you shouldn't think that they're targeted at you. When you see somebody's weaknesses, that might be that person just feeling, I think I can only speak for myself. And when it comes to me, if I really care about someone, they're going to see weak moments in me because it's hard for me with everything that I've been through to break down my walls and feel safe. So they're going to see that I will struggle with that a little bit. But if I care about you, I won't leave. I'll struggle in front of you, not to hurt you or to stress you out. But it's better than struggling away from you in silence. And I think that people that really care about each other and value, listen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about fate. You know, I don't think that God went and chose somebody and, you know, is going to throw her at me one day. I think you have to choose who you care about, and you have to choose what you're willing to put up with, and you have to choose what you value. And, you know, it takes a lot for me to open up my door, because I have every reason to keep it shut. And, you know, being the best version of myself means you got to get rid of those flaws. But it also means that people are going to see you fumble the ball. And I think there's a big difference between people that mean to hurt you and people that hurt you by accident. And I'm a hurt you by accident person. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to spit at you. I'm not going to use things against you. I'm not going to attack you. You're going to have some tough moments with me when I'm having tough moments with myself. And I will try to minimize those as best as I possibly can. But you're going to see me struggle a little bit sometimes because it's hard for me to let people in. I was the type of kid where I trusted everybody. I wanted to be everybody's friend. And then I grew into this adult that realized you have to be a little bit more careful with who you let in your circle. So when I let you in, that's a compliment from me. That's me going, I think I'm safe here. And sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. You know, I think we all are right and wrong. But I think what I've learned about life is you can't expect to be perfect when you meet somebody. You can acknowledge your flaws, but you have to be working on them. It means nothing to someone to go, hey, I got a bad attitude and I'm snippy and I'm rude sometimes, and then to never stop doing that. You know, to be someone that says, hey, I worry. You know, I have moments where I just kind of get in my own head. Once you better be working on it. I mean, the first step is knowing that you have a problem, knowing that there's something about you that you're working on. Because if you walk into a relationship thinking you're perfect, you're already wrong. And if you walk into a relationship thinking that someone has to fit you, but that you don't have to fit them too, you're wrong. Everything is compromise, right? There's a lot of people that you may not have ever put together in a simulation, but they go together because there's something about the way they make each other feel that they just can't describe. And I think what I've learned about being the best me is I'm proud of how far I've come. And it holds no candle to where I'm going. And, you know, I want to be with someone who can put their arm around me and say, I see you trying. I see what you're doing, and I know you're not trying to hurt anybody on purpose. And I am right here to hold your hand and work with you just like you are with me. You know, I think the best teammates in life are the ones that work together, are the ones that say, this is hard, let's do it together. You know what I mean? And I think being the best version of yourself, I think when you meet the right person in your life, they help you find some of those puzzle pieces that you've really struggled to find. And when you can say, hey, this person made me a better person, I don't think those are the people you should ever let go. With that being said, we'll take our final step aside and we'll be back on Wake Up Call right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Get closer to the teams and players that you love, as well as the games you love to play, by going to the place where you can be a big kid and fan the flame of that awesome spirit that you have. The best adults are the ones that never forgot how to have fun and how to have a great kid spirit. So go have fun today at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays 10 to 5. With that being said, I want to also thank Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. On the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, you will find Nostalgia, the Jalapeno Ranch Club Chicken Sandwich in original, spicy, as well as grilled, and the new Strawberry Hibiscus beverages. Go enjoy a spin on the nostalgia you love of Chick-fil-A by going to Chick-fil-A DeWitt today to see the wonderful, wonderful team led by Megan Sorber on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard in the giant brick building that you cannot miss, with a double drive-through and a massive parking lot. And many thanks to our newest team member, Gray's Craze, charcuterie boards and boxes in Clay, New York. You'll find Gray's Craze on 4599 New York State Route 31, Suite 5 in Clay, New York. They are the first Gray's Craze in the entire state of New York, and they are asking you to celebrate everything. Whatever's going on in your life, you got a promotion at work, you started a new relationship, you want to have a fun night with the kids, you're doing movie night or date night at home, whatever it may be, as well as anniversaries, weddings, and those big time events. Gray's Craze is prepared for everything, whether it's something in your home, a surprise for someone, or a celebration of something that is a massive life event. Gray's Craze is there for you, and they love to hear from you at 315-409-4171. That's 315-409-4171. Gray's Craze, where they tell you in Clay, New York, to celebrate everything. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, have a beautiful day. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond. You'll also find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to our incredible team. Go and visit our wonderful partners at Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, Brian's Landing, Pizza Man, where we will be tonight, Tuesday, April 14th at 5:30 p.m., celebrating Baldwinsville Bees Girls Lacrosse, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Myers Creek, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Gray's Craze in Clay, New York, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Avicolli's, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Game Point Sports Complex, Mother's Cupboard, Willow Rock, and the Willow Rock Pizza Pub. And of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. Find the Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The Bearcats are here, like today, hanging out with you where sports meets life, with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni telling their story. You can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information on your Bearcats, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. I want to thank you for being a part of the show today with our talk on the NBA, the WNBA, and the NHL. Many thanks to Tim Hennig of Binghamton Baseball, who joined us on a very successful season that I hope continues to only reach new heights. And a big time thanks to Avicolli's for the ingredients to success. And remember to be the best you that you can be. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. Great Lakes Honda City, thank you for all you do to be our exclusive studio partner. I will see you at Pizza Man tonight on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York, celebrating the Baldwinsville Bees girls lacrosse team tonight, April 14th at 5:30 p.m. on stage. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we say God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon.